And Qatar is the stage, of course, the location for CSI Alshaqab, and this location has become synonymous with top-level sport. They have hosted Formula One here, they have hosted the FIFA World Cup back in 2022, and now also the ATP Tennis Tour. That also takes place this week, in fact. But of course, we are turning our attention to five-star show jumping, the very best that equestrian sport has to offer. This incredible Doha Equestrian Tour kicked off with an incredible opening ceremony, and this is how that all played out.
We had an opening ceremony on the first day of His Highness Emir Father event. It was one of the greatest opening ceremonies I've seen ever, with the drone shows going up. A small story talking about the cultures and the horses. Honestly, it was something great to have on our ground. It's the first time to have an opening ceremony on an equestrian event in Qatar. We had many people involved, and they did a great job. The director, Mr. Ahmed Al-Bakir, has been fantastic. He's been part of the FIFA World Cup in 2022. He's been part of the Asian Cup also, of the opening ceremony there. And every time he shows us something extraordinary and something amazing on ground. We managed to do it well, and it came out with a great result. It makes us feel proud.
Well, a beautiful way to kick off this series, of course, the Doha Equestrian Tour, which has housed several weeks of five-star action, including both last week's His Highness the Amir's Sword and this week's CHI event. We are mere moments away from our second five-star competition of the day. This will be the feature class of the evening and is a five-star speed class. This one is worth over €100,000 and is one that is set to be hotly contested by over 40 competitors. Once again, it really is a who's who of the world's best in show jumping coming forward. Just one horse each in this competition, and it certainly will be one where they have a foot to the floor in their bid for glory. Once again, the course has been set by Uliano Vetsani, a man who's designed some of the toughest tracks around the world. And once again, our analyst Tom Frayne is down on the ground for us to take a closer look at the course.
Thank you, Hannah. We're here in the main arena again, and this is our 1m50 Table A one-round speed class. Over €100,000, as you've just said, for prize money, so things are getting very serious. We've 43 horse rider combinations coming on the start list, and this is the first fence we're going to start over, so you can automatically see we've stepped it up a gear here. So it's 1m50 to start off with on our signature Longines oxer, and we'll head left-handed to what I think is a very picturesque fence. You can see it here with the globe on the left-hand side. Fence number 2, so it's a related distance. Riders, you can see, will be walking it. Again, that's so dependent on your own particular horse and what way you want to ride your horse. If you remember, it's a speed class, so if you can leave out strides, come up the inside, that'll be the name of the game if you want to get a big chunk of the prize money. And you'll see the different riders. Emmanuel Gardiano's coming up here behind us at the moment, and for sure he's taking an inside track as we would expect him to do. And again, you'll probably see some of the riders are going to jump this fence on the angle, trying to make it as quick as possible. We'll turn back right-handed to what's a good, decent oxer here coming off the corner. And then it's a related distance down to the combination, and we're going to walk down here and have a look at it. So from 3 to 4, I'm going to be a 6-stride pattern here up against the sides. You can see the grandstand is on our left-hand side. There's a lot of movement in there, but these horses won't mind. They know their job, they're thorough professionals, and you have a lot of jumps here in front of you. There's a lot of poles in this. You can see we have a vertical, decent fence coming in here, good high vertical coming in. Little plank on the second pole, that'll hopefully help the horses back up a little bit. So they'll have one stride here and jump this big oxer. When you look at it, hi guys, Irish contingent in the background there, getting ready for their para competition tomorrow. So big oxer here in the middle of the combination, just one stride. They'll have to really reach over that. You can see the safety cup with the red cups again. Just bring this to your attention. Safety cup, if a horse sits on it, it's going to drop away. Again, look how shallow that cup is. Any little bit of a touch and it's going to go. So we 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Plenty of room here for the 2 strides that they'll be expected to put in here. Good tall verticals. Remember, it's 1.50 m, the yellow cups. As soon as they've landed over here, now they have an option. They're going to turn right hand. Anybody who wants to be competitive is going to really try to land up on the inside and move across the line. We have a big oxer here with 2 small water trays in the bottom. And again, if you look at the color of the poles on this fence, it's slightly different. So it's darker on the outside and it fades into almost pure white in the middle almost. The poles are not very long, so again, this makes the fence a little bit more difficult for the horses to read and for the riders to be accurate at. These little water trays in the bottom, again, something just to make sure that your horse doesn't get distracted and look down and have a rail. Only 3 poles in the front. And then what we have is, once we've landed here, we're going to a little bit of a bending line to a stile. Again, those narrow poles, black, very strong, white gate underneath. And back left-handed. Now, if you're clear, you've got the fence 6. If you're clear at this stage, you can be very brave. The water tray is at the back here. The vertical's quite high. It looks like a fence that you can actually be quite brave to. Jump fence 7, move up the inside again. You watch the riders, you can even see some of the footprints here. Nobody's going too wide. Anybody's getting serious at this stage. And this is a good oxer to a 1 stride to a tall vertical. Anybody who's clear at this stage now will be starting to get a bit interested and stay motivated. Jump in over your oxer. 1 stride to your vertical. But this is going to be very careful. Just 3 poles in it. No fillers. Lots of space. Horses really got to sit back, balance themselves. You'll see the riders trying to give the horse plenty of support, using their hand here just to keep the horse organized. Then have a nice position, let the horse finish behind. Jump the B part. And now you've got to get a nice sweep to fence 9. The riders will be really aware that they're going to be coming back right-handed. So there's no point in jumping this fence on the inside and ending up too far on the far side of the arena. What you really want to do now is bow this line, come out nice and wide, keep up a really good rhythm. Try and be nice and accurate. Plenty of space. You're going to swing back then as neat as you possibly can to the Equine Veterinary Medical Center, tall vertical here. And then you have 3 fences from home. Beautiful big oxer here. You can see the shape of this, brown poles, a little plank in front of it as well. Related distance then from 11 to 12. If our course builder's keeping the same patterns as we had last week, he'll be looking for them to be very careful and have a lot of control. And then we've a bending line left to the last fence, which is fence number 13. Our combination is early in the track. It's fence number 4. We've a double at fence number 8. Turn back at fence number 10. Big oxer fence 11. Related distance to a plank on a flat cup. Gary, we're going to have a word. You're in the right place. Come here. Just a second. Okay, he's run away from us. You can see tall plank here. And then head to the corner. It's not over. Horse might get a little bit distracted when they see the the gate, but there's 1 more fence for them to jump. There's our winner of the last class. A few guys here just making a bit of a plan. There's a lot of people. I see Peter running across the arena. This is a serious class. There's over 100,000 euros prize money. A lot of jumping efforts. There's 1 double, a combination. So we've 13 fences. We've 15 jumping efforts, 16 jumping efforts. There's a lot at stake here. We've 43 horse rider combinations coming to post. It looks like it's a serious test. It's going to be a really good class. I'm really looking forward to seeing these horses come out. They've been outstanding over the last couple of weeks, and I'm sure we're going to keep up the same standard. So we'll hand it back to you, Hannah, in the studio.
Well, thanks so much, Tom. Great to get that insight there into tonight's track. Looks like plenty of technical elements there, but we will have a little bit more of a chat about it just ahead of the start of tonight's competition. Of course, one thing that is always commented on by not only the riders but also spectators is the quality of the facilities at Alshaqab. Certainly the riders comment on the quality of the footing, how impressive the stables are. Their horses all feel particularly settled in at this very venue. And of course for spectators there is plenty on offer as well. Earlier on our teams had a closer look at that hospitality. Take a look at this.
I'm Clara Martins, and I'm a co-founder of Morphus. It's a marketing agency that actually is managing the marketing and communications for Doha Equestrian Tour. I have been here several times as a guest. I would recommend that the public join us here in Alshaqab. It's an amazing experience. You have so much to do as a family. So while adults can enjoy a nice cappuccino at close quarters with the arena, there's plenty of opportunities for the children to enjoy the show as well. So many things to do. What makes the hospitality different here is the fact that you are, enjoying some of the best hospitality in Qatar while watching world-class show jumping just at close quarters, and that's very unique, something that they will never forget. The Doha Equestrian Tour is currently one of the best events taking place in the world, I would say. It's also an opportunity for children to be in touch with amazing horses. Some of the best horses in the world are here in Alshaqab. So I would really recommend for families to join us. Come and enjoy.
Well, what an incredible facility we are lucky enough to find ourselves in here tonight. And of course, these riders have been lucky enough to base themselves here for some weeks, many of them staying for several weeks, enjoying these facilities and enjoying, of course, the opportunity to compete at the very highest level of the sport for some time. And they've also been commenting that they can not only compete at the 5-star level, but also bring up and coming horses for those 3-star classes and young horse and indeed young rider classes as well. So there's plenty to entertain these riders as they progress through the weeks here at the Doha Equestrian Tour. And several riders, we earlier on spoke to Marlon Modolo Zanatelli. He explained to us that not only is he competing, members of his team, also students, and they're able to bring those up and coming horses and really let them get a feel for competing in an arena like this, because it really is hugely atmospheric. We're just on the opening day here tonight, but it really is building and building. And as the week progresses, we're anticipating more and more spectators. They get quite close to the side of the arena there, and it really makes things absolutely electric. And we really cannot wait to see how that progresses as the week goes on. Well, somebody who knows all about what it takes to perform well in this arena is Lara Treba. She won the opening 5-star class and she's joining us in the studio this evening. Lara, welcome back. We of course saw you last week. Congratulations on this afternoon's win.
Hi, thank you. Yeah, I'm very happy to be back.
Now talk to us about that class then earlier on, the 2-phase. How does that set you up for the week?
It's an amazing start. This horse always helps me to get in the rhythm and be competitive, and it just helps me start my week and be also competitive with the others.
Earlier on we had Marlon in the studio here, and he was talking to us about your team. How does that really make your week as well? You all work together so well.
Oh no, it's an amazing team. I'm very happy to be surrounded by such an amazing team. And we win together and we also lose together. And we're always there to support each other. Angelica is here also with the kids now, so it's extra special. So no, it's very nice.
Fantastic. Now talk to us about your plans for this class.
Yeah, so I have my mare Tanya. The plan, of course, would be to go a bit competitive with her. And she would not jump the big class tomorrow ahead of the Grand Prix. So she would only jump today in the Grand Prix.
Fantastic. Can't wait to see you in a few minutes. Tom Frayne, our analyst, has joined us once again as well. Tom, you've taken a bit of a look at the course. Anywhere in particular you'd like to pull out for us?
This is a typical Uliana course. There's some challenges everywhere. The combination comes up early. It's fence 4, which will be quite interesting. Lets the horses get into it quite early and have the combination. There's a lot of jumping on it, to be fair. The style at the down by the pocket will be a little bit interesting. It's on a bending line. The angle of that is just a little bit of a challenge. It looks straight when you walk up to it, but actually there's a little bit of waving, and if any of those horses get a little bit off the line, it's kind of difficult to stay careful and keep the scope that you want. Typical, you can't pick one particular fence as a cumulative effort that they have to go. Again, I think down the last line, looking for that little bit of control and that last related distance, as he has done for the last week as well, will be just interesting.
And Laura, how about you? You've walked the course now, and where in particular are you looking with relation to your horse?
I think it's overall a very delicate course with a combination coming early also with a nice stride coming in. And then also some verticals at end of lines, like number 6, for example, I think is going to be a delicate one. The plank also, number 12. So I think we're going to see a bit of rails everywhere.
And Tom, we've seen Lara performing well here already over the last week. Might she be one on your list?
Yeah, she's a good draw near the end of the field. Yeah, absolutely. And you'll get an opportunity to see how everybody else is tackling the course. We don't know, some people struggle a little bit when they come in the first evening. Laura's horses are in great form. She's a lot of experience in here, so I would not be surprised. The ladies have been featuring really strongly for the last number of weeks, and long may it continue.
Laura, how many weeks are you here for?
So I'm staying one more week here this week with 6 horses, and I'm flying 4 back home, and I stay 2 more weeks for the Globals the week after with 2.
We were saying earlier as well, and I think you spoke a little about this last week, but talk to us a bit more again about, how important it is to bring a range of horses here.
I think to come here, it's nice to come with like 4 to 6 horses, so you also have the choice to choose between the classes and how they're performing. And I think if you have horses that can jump already 150s, then you also get going, and it's a very nice tour for that.
Now, let's take a look then at the rest of the starting order. Tom, anybody else that you've got on your list, because this is quite a stacked lineup here this evening?
Second last to go, Scott Brashelot Jefferson. They stand out. Hard to look past them, really.
How does it make you feel, Laura, when you see some of these names? Of course, you've done fantastically well yourself, but you're looking at some of these big names, some icons of the sport here.
I mean, I was very overwhelmed last year when I started the Globals and competing against them. Now I'm starting to get used to being next to those names, but it's always a pleasure to watch them, and I learn every day, and especially with Manon.
And how would you actually also plan this kind of show in these kind of weeks? I know a lot of you are looking at those world rankings. Is that on your mind when you're basing somewhere like this?
Yes, of course. My goal is to move up from the ranking quite a lot of places, and I think this tour is very helpful for that.
Tom, take us through another couple of these names then, because we've got some Olympians in the field here. We've got, of course, last week's 3-star World Cup winner, previous winners in this ring, Abdullah Alshaqab, winner of the Amir Sword last week as well.
Yeah, he's in there also. Sheikh Ali Al-Tahini is there. So he's on Come On Stanley. This horse has been going really well. There's a load of riders here. Any one of these riders, 10 or 15 riders there who will be eyeing up first prize tonight. So it's going to be a serious competition. Christian Allman is there as well. We haven't seen him on the podium last week, and that's a place where he's regularly, so don't be surprised if he puts his best foot forward.
And plenty of riders, this is the big prize money class of the day, so they will be going for it a bit here tonight.
Absolutely. If you're in there, you're in for a good placing. Look, some riders won't be able to go so fast, so they'll be riding as quick as they can, looking for prize money, looking for points. There will definitely some speed merchants in there who are specialists at these classes, and they'll be looking to go. Hans-Dieter Dry Elysium is another horse that'll stand out. They've been in great form for the last couple of weeks, so again, another one looking for a podium over a good big track like this that's careful. So they'll all be fancying their chances. Each of the riders will have walked the course. They'll have had a real good look at it and seen where they think that they can save off a little bit of time, what bit suits them, where they need to be careful. There'll be a lot of confidence in the warm-up arena at this stage. We'll see what happens when Uliano gets his say.
Well, we're very much looking forward to the start of this competition. Plenty to come. Thank you so much, Lara, for joining us. Very quickly, biggest rival in this competition for you?
Manon.
A little bit of friendly rivalry there. Well, thank you so much once again for joining us, and we look very much forward to taking you through all of the action in this 5-star speed class here this evening, the feature class of the opening day at CSI Alshaqab, presented by Longines. We'll hand back over then to Killian Thornton on your live stream, and John Stokes in the arena to take you through every second.
Salam alaikum, good evening and welcome to Alshaqab as we move deeper into this first night of Ramadan. The energy here in Doha has transformed. The earlier pace of the 1.40 meter has evolved into something much more calculated, much more prestigious. To all of our viewers joining us across the globe and here in Qatar, we wish you a blessed month. Ramadan Kareem. Tonight, the stakes have officially been raised. This is the CSI 5-star 1.50 meter one-round speed, as it serves as the first major Longines ranking competition of the week, with a total prize fund of €106,000. Every stride matters. Every fraction of a second is worth its weight in gold, both in currency and in world ranking points. We have 42 of the world's most elite horse and rider combinations waiting in the warm-up, and as you can see, some walking the course at the moment, representing 21 nations. That man, Ulano Vitasani. He is the Italian course designer that has set the time allowed of 79 seconds with 13 obstacles, 16 efforts, 41 starts here tonight. In fact, as the ultimate test of power and speed for these riders, there is an even larger shadow looming. This class is a qualifier for the Saturday Night Grand Prix. The strategy is simple: go clear, go fast, and secure your spot to get in to the jump off. Let's take a look at the technical challenge that awaits us in our field here tonight. Well, we start off with fence number 1 being the Longines Oxer. That's right in front of the public grandstand. Heading towards the VVIP area with a 7-8 stride distance down to fence number 2. Slightly on the left turn there. We then take a right-hand turn round the flower arrangement into 3. We're going down to a related distance from the Oxer. 6 strides, slightly on the shorter side for those 6, into the triple combination. It's a vertical, Oxer, vertical. 1 stride, 2 stride there. With a right-hand turn, we go to fence number 5. That's a water tray Oxer. 6 strides down to fence number 6. The bridged fence with the black poles there. Left-hand turn round to the in-out gate, and also heading away from that big screen into fence 7. It's an 8-9 stride distance down to the next combination. It's an Oxer vertical out, 1 stride as we loop round to fence number 9. We're into the second half of this course now. The Oxer in front of the VVIP area. Right-hand turn to fence 10. Left-hand turn to 11, that's the Oxer, heading towards the Longines clock. 4 strides down to fence 12, a vertical heading towards the big screen. Can be distracting for some of those horses as we loop around to the final fence in front of our Hermes area, finishing in under the time allowed of 79 seconds, keeping them all up. The quickest will be crowned our winner here this evening. It's a formidable track tonight at 1.50 meter. They are some of the riders in this order that you will see entering the arena. This isn't just about height, it's about the questions the course designer, Ulano Vitasani, has asking. The lines are delicate, the distances are testing, and the clock is a relentless judge. While the European circuit often dominates the conversation, tonight we see a truly global defiance. Look at the strength of the Qatari contingent. Riders who have grown up in the shadow of these very stables are now ready to defend their home turf against the world's best. We see the flair of Brazilian riders, the technical precision of the Belgians, and the sheer speed of the French. 41 on your screen. In this one-round speed format, there is no safety net. You cannot wait for a jump off to find your speed. The winner tonight will be the one who can find that flow state, balancing the aggression needed to beat the clock with the sensitivity required to leave all the poles in the cups. We'll just look at some of the artwork that's displayed here along the side of the arena. Absolutely amazing, along with some of the entertainment that is part of this show. 3 arenas in operation. 41 starts here tonight. 1 goal to leave this arena with a ranking boost and a guaranteed ticket to Saturday's finale. The lights are on, the world is watching, and the 13th edition of the CHI of Alshaqab is about to reach a new level of intensity. In just a moment, we will have our first. That is the Hermes Saleh, one of the stands that they have here. It's a fabulous collection of a number of the top brands that are partnered with the show, including here in the Longines Arena. Joining me here in the commentary box, back with me, is Tom Frayne. Tom, we're looking forward to this one. It's the big one here today.
Yeah, seriously looking forward to this now. Our first class was that 1m42 phase. We had a lot of horses in, and a lot of horses came in for a look around, but no, this is the serious stuff now. 43 horse rider combinations coming to post, and I think there's probably half of them will have an eye on taking some prize money and a rosette out of this class.
Well, 21 different nations represented. Only 1 national anthem will play at the end for the winner. Could it be the Belgian one as they start us off? He's ranked 51 in the Longines World Rankings. He was 3rd in the Hermes Saleh competition last week, but also part of our 3-star World Cup Grand Prix, placed 3rd. He rides this 12-year-old mare. It's Jordanian and a partnership that won the 5-star Grand Prix at the end of the year there in La Coruña. Riding this to start us off is Peter Davis.
Yeah, the 12-year-old mare, she's a stunning athlete. Gives her a little pat, he gives her a look up at that fence, up in the top corner. Real blood type. You can see she's not the biggest lady, but she's so athletic, so light on her feet. And again, another one of these horses that looks so intelligent. She's taking it all in. Starts over a big oxer, heads right-handed then. You can see just balances her across there on that bending line. And now this is a speed class, 1-round speed, so he's not going to waste any time. Good press into the big oxer. Now even stride pattern up to the combination. Vertical, 1 stride oxer, 2 strides then to a vertical, and now cut the corner. Jump this big oxer at 5. She has a look at the little water trays. Now get the style out of the way. You can see Peter's already turning. A leg on through the corner, really pushes forward. This is excellent. Now, 2nd of the combinations, oxer vertical, 1 stride. Oh, unfortunately, we'll see that in the slow-mo. Just has a little rub on one of the front legs. Big oxer again. Turns back. This is a roll back to fence 10. Jumps it on the angle. Comes to the related distance, 11 to 12. 2, 3, 4, 5. Short strides, great control. And turns left away from the pocket. Finishes over a big oxer.
Well, the clock stops at 74.31. It is just that 1 knockdown that results in 4 jumping faults for Peter Davis as our Pathfinder with Jordanian Belgium.
Yeah, you can see, look, a little bit of a puff of the cheeks there. You know, he did everything really, really well here. The mare's jumped superbly. We'll see if we'll get an option to see the slow-mo. I think you'll just see the one leg is a little bit out of balance with the other and just has the slightest little rub. But these fences, there's no forgiving in them.
We continue now to a 3-time Olympian. She's widely regarded as the most successful female rider in the sport's history. She's previous winner of the Alshaqab Grand Prix back a number of years ago, but she's on form again this year, consistently in the top 10, part of His Highness the Father Emir's Prix earlier this month. Edwina tops Alexander Kitlin van de Hefnickzijde, Australia.
Yeah, 11-year-old mare by Shotco Blue. Really talented combination. We saw these in the Global Champions Tour and the Global Champions League at the back end of last year. Super into the combination, brilliant in the middle part, and there you can see Edwina giving the mare loads of support for the last part. Now keeps coming to the oxer, That water tray, that's the second horse into the ring, and the second horse, I think, has had a little look down into the water tray. As a result, just landed a little bit short on that back rail. Now can slow up a little bit. You know she's a fence down. Second of the combinations, Oxer vertical. Takes 10 strides across there. Keep coming right-handed on the roll back. To this nice blue vertical, full up to height. And now stay up on the inside. Big Oxer here. You can see it's a little bit, the wing on the left is smaller than the wing on the right, and that helps them. Weight on the 5 to the plank on a flat cup. Last fence coming up.
Well, clears that, but with the knockdown, that's another one that incurs 4 faults here this tonight. 76.75 for Edwina Tops, Alexander Kitten, Van de Heffening, Z.
Yeah, very good effort again. You can see the rider a little bit puzzled. Has done everything really, really well. Here we go. This is the first fence. Super shot over there. You can see how high the mare has gone. Edwina looking for the next fence already. This is into the double. Look, brilliant here again. We're not going to see. Yeah, just shrugging the shoulders. Hard to tell what happened there.
Plenty of action still ahead for that pairing. But we go now to the undisputed leading man of Danish show jumping. He's a 2-time Olympian and known for his tactical brilliance. This is Billy Metador, 12-year-old gelding riding this Denmark's Andreas Show.
Yeah, this is Andreas' top horse. Hey, these are the guys. This is the one he pulls out for the big classes. Now turns up nice and tight to the Oxer. Adds up a stride to the combination, pops in, knows he's got loads of stride. Supports on the way out. Now this is this Oxer with those different color poles fading into the inside, little water tray, and again the back rail is gone. Turns back to the Visit Qatar vertical with the water tray at the back. Nice and soft in front. Takes a bending line. Andreas knows he's had a fence down, so you can see just the urgency has gone out of the round. Billy Matador looks a picture. Big Oxer again. This is the roll back. Knowing he's at a fence down, you can see he's just taking his time. But stays on the rhythm, keeps the balance, uses this for as part of his program. He knows how many rounds he wants to jump on his horse. Beautiful over the vertical, really super technique. Last fence coming up.
And a knockdown of that front element of that. It will be a total of 8 then in 78.51 for Andreas Schul, Billy Metador.
Yeah, a little bit puzzled again. Horse was doing everything right. We've seen the first 3 horses come in here. This is this bogey fence already. Little water tray again. We look at the colors of it. Dark on the outside, fades in. Water tray. And again, look, just misjudges it and just comes down 2 centimeters shy of where he needs to be. This is the last fence. Just comes off the corner, and you can see he just catches the top pole on his way up.
In under a half a second of the time allowed of 79 seconds, we continue to Gefried Puch. He's practically moved into the prize-giving ceremonies here. He's been dominating across both 3- and 5-star level. Just 3 weeks ago, in His Highness the Father Mayor's Prix, he placed second in that 160 Grand Prix. He rides Idle Special HJ.
13-year-old stallion by Falas de Muse. Big jumping horse again. You can see the mask. Gerfried makes the alteration on the way down. Horse is very good now. Support on the way out. You can see just softens his hand and just gives him a little bit of support. Now, positive here. Makes the back rail. Pushes up that distance. And he's very tight back here. Great angle from the cameraman. Jumps that. Now, he keeps coming here to the double. He's definitely left out at least 1 stride. Has to back up, be strong. Now gallops across the arena. Needs to keep swinging right-handed. He's bowed it. Oh, the back rail again. Tried to bow that line. Just keep the momentum. Make it quick back to the tall vertical at 10. Just misjudged. The horse just misjudged the back rail ever so slightly. Again, the safety cup. Pops the plank. And the last fence coming up. He's been very quick. Look at the time.
Yeah, no issues with time there. It's just 4 faults and 68.59, the quickest performance we've seen to date, produced by Austria's Geoffrey Puck in a special HJ.
Yeah, this attempted to be a winning round. You can see he's well ahead on the time, almost 6 seconds quicker than anybody previous. Specialist horse knows his way around. He was trying here just to come a little bit from left to right. You can see what a great effort the horse makes. But just when he drifted that little bit in the air, I think difficult to keep the scope and make the back rail.
Continuing now to a national icon here of Qatari show jumping. He made history as the first Qatari to win an LGCT, that's the Longines Global Championship Tour Grand Prix here in Doha. He has been very much on form as he goes with Watton Charlie Brown, this 10-year-old gelding. It's Bassem Mohammed, Qatar.
By Cantarano, what about Demontesemele, Zanger's Eye breeding. Now in this new livery for Watton, so now Watton Charlie Brown. Nice and even up to the combination. You just see Bassam just sits up on the way in. Beautiful ride on the way out, just really supports the horse without interfering too much. Now, really scopy over that oxer and super careful, using the horse's stride to great effect. You can see Bassam has actually a knot in his reins, so he's just shortened them up. Has the front rail on the way into the double at 10, at 8. Everything had been going really smooth, not super quick, but really balanced and organized. So comes up the last line. Leaves out a stride on that. We've seen most of the others go to 5. Pattern, he went to 4, but he's had the plank as well. Last fence.
Clears that, but 78.06 on the clock, just in under that time out of 79, but with the 2 down, it's 8 for Bassem Mohammed, Watton Charlie Brown, the state of Qatar.
Very solid performance from a 10-year-old, shows a lot of really scopy jumps, a little bit green on a few occasions, I think, but this is definitely a horse that Bassam is going to use to great effect. Don't be surprised we see some doing some Nations Cup duties, jumping a lot of tracks. You can see it's a huge stride. Cruise down there to the Longines plank. He went down the 4 strides. You can just see he's taking the knot out of his reins there. Opted for a knot as opposed to a bridge. We'll keep an eye and see if we see a rider who's using either a single or double bridge. We'll explain that.
Jumping the first fence there is Nadia Peter-Steiner for Switzerland. Nice Savant Zogoval. She already has 2 major 5-star 150 classes under her belt over the last 6 weeks.
Yeah, this is a 13-year-old mare by Emerald out of a Heartbreaker Dam. Nadia is now ranked 46 in the world, and as we've said, that takes some doing to get into the top 50. That's going to secure a lot of invites. That's going to get her into a lot of very good shows this year. Now she's moving up really nicely here. This is very, very smooth, which is exactly what you need. When we spoke in the studio, this course is very delicate, very careful all the way through. Now she poses beautifully. Lands gone maybe a little bit wider, but you can see loads of control. Now jumps this on the angle. That's very good. Now keeps flowing up here. This is a big oxer. Beautiful shot. Now she's got to wait. And now keeps traveling to the last fence. This is excellent stuff. We could have a new leader.
Could it be the first clear? It is 68.43. That's the standard set by a lady very much on form, Nadia Peter-Steiner, with nice Avant Zogavelt.
Yeah, that was beautiful. She set out on a really nice rhythm from the very beginning, and she just wound it up as she went along. Here we see her at the first fence. Beautiful jump from this mare. Really keen, but loads of control all the way through. You can see the height of this jump. Really tall, but the mare low, so careful. Look at Nadia, perfect position, keeping her horse balanced, giving a little bit of support out through the combination. They're happy, she's happy.
Jubilant scenes. Well done to Nadia, as she has now set the standard with the time to beat of 68.43, and the first clear also That may be difficult to beat, but we still have plenty to go and plenty of world-class combinations. Who do you have your eye on, Tom?
Definitely second last. Hello, Jefferson. Scott Brash, ranked number 1 in the world. Hard to take your eyes off them. Christian Allman, he's number 33 to go. He won't be too far away as well. Keep an eye on Abdel Said. He's the number 35 with his nice 12-year-old. There's a lot of them in there, but they would be my picks.
Well, 26,500 will approximately go to our winner here tonight, but more importantly, this is a qualifier for the 5-star Grand Prix on Saturday. This man is arriving after a superb performance in last week's 3-star World Cup Grand Prix. He was the winner of that. It's Abdulrahman Al-Raji and Candidi Shanavesi for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
10-year-old mare. Really blood, and he really setting out with purpose here. Another horse with just a hack more on, so keeps coming through the corner. 7 strides, ups to pop in quietly, keep it all under control, keep it nice and balanced, and now again you can see moves up. He's positive and forward here. 5 strides to the stile. Now he's caught it behind. That's gone. He was a very quick back around the turn. Horse just didn't get to finish the jump. I thought he was gone. I'm sure he thought he was gone. Pops into the double. He's going to slow up a little bit now, just take a little bit of time. Big oxer on the bend.
There's still plenty that these horses can learn, even after the 4 faults for completing the rest of the course, Tom.
Yeah, you've got to stay on it. Basically, you can't just throttle back. It's not fair on the horses when you go in and you get going on a good rhythm. You have to stay on it. Maybe go a little bit wider, but you don't want the horses to start it on, off. That's not good.
The last fence goes also. That's 8 faults then in 66.79. It's the quickest round that we have seen, in fact, to date, but two down for Abdulrahman Al-Raji.
Started off really quickly, was very, very competitive at the beginning. We see him here over this tricky big oxer. Horse was brilliant. See it really kicked out behind here. It was the next fence that caused him a bit of trouble, which is the tall style heading up at fence 6. Just this was has a lucky rub there. We don't see too many roll back into the cup.
Well, we continue with the next partnership just stepping forward now in the arena. This is Matthew Morrison. He's a South African rising star, one of the brightest talents to come out of South Africa in recent years. Rose to prominence as a top junior and young rider before making his bold move to base himself in Europe and competing at 5-star level. Coached by his father, Peter, well-known figure in South African and Irish equestrian scenes. He rides Quebec. Matthew Morrison, South Africa.
Yeah, 10-year-old by Kamal Fo. What a great opportunity for a young athlete to come into the arena and compete with alongside his heroes. He's done very well here over the last few weeks, and it's a great opportunity. He steps his horses up and then steps them back down again as necessary, but really doing well. Adds up, come to the combination. Yeah, he's in this class to get experience. So you're not going to see him going too quick. Give his horse every opportunity. Remember, it's a young horse also. He's only a 10-year-old. And Matthew, only a younger rider. So it's a big learning curve for both of them. Coping really well here now. Presenting his horse lovely to every fence. Double coming up in very nice. Super balance, has a little rub coming out. Now wants to be careful here, don't cut the corner too much. Stay straight. A little bit of a tap on the back rail, but so far so good. We don't have too many clears. Jump the vertical, stay on the inside leg, support with the outside hand. Very good. Goes the 4 strides. Now the last fence coming up, he's going to be very happy with this. Not worried about the time. Clear round is what he's looking for.
And that's what he achieved. 78.28, a steady, considered approach, and secures the second clear of this competition. Matthew Morrison with Quebec.
Yeah, he's unlikely to stay on the podium, but what a performance from a young athlete. We've seen him develop over the years. He's been based in Ireland quite a bit. So we've seen him coming through the the National Series. What an opportunity to come here and compete at this level.
Well, we move on to a lady that has been the breakout star of the Doha Equestrian Tour of 2026. She joined us just 3 weeks ago and pulled off an incredible 3-win performance in a single day. She won the 155 jump-off challenge, second in a 140 class last week. She's ranked 44 in the world, riding Starbucks as Kristin van der Veen for the USA.
Yeah, another 10-year-old. Has that real American nice forward style, lets her horses run. You can see she's locked onto that top rail, encourages her horse. 6 strides up to the combination. You can just hear her using her voice. Really has to give the horse a bit of support coming out of the combination. But look at Starbuck, ears pricked. Now sits up for this tall plank and already Kirsten is looking for the turn back. She's brilliant at these. Watch the way she just keeps coming through the corner, meets it on a beautiful stride. Now a little bit of an alteration to the double, not too brave in there. Now she's going to squeeze it up again. You can see she moves forward through the corner, very forward. Oh, timing a little off. Starbucks just put a toe out in front and pushed off that top rail. That's going to keep her off the podium. I imagine this is going to be a very quick round. She just naturally covers the ground. Last fence coming up. Can she keep it on the 4?
She does with 67.91, a quick pace there as well. The 4 falls for Kristin van der Veen, Starbucks, the USA.
Yeah, just naturally fast. We've seen her on all her classes. She lets her horses travel and run. This was very, very well done. Just a big oxer over the far end of the arena that she had down. We get to see it again on the replay. She was very brave. She decided that's where she could make up a little bit of time and really stamp her authority on this class. Unfortunately, it wasn't to be. Horse just put a leg out in front and caught that top rail on the way up.
We move to the world number 82 in the Longines World Rankings. It's Philip Weishaupt with Carlado. He's based at the world-famous Beerbohm Stables in Reisenbeck and a former winner of the Grand Prix of Aachen and Spruce Meadows Masters for Germany.
Yeah, 11-year-old gelding by Harley out of a chin-chin mare. Sets off with purpose. Really neat back to the oxer. Whoa. Yeah, wow, look, it's a very, very forward 6 up to the combination. Most of the riders are opting to come up on the 7, slow up, pop in over the vertical, and then get the power on. Philip has decided this isn't to be today, so he's actually popped the second fence and opted to retire. Yeah, landed on the distance, moved up, and then just expected his horse and rode for his horse to sit up and balance itself. Just maybe took a little half halt. The horse just anticipated and was overreacted. And quite cleverly then, rather than make a big deal out of it, he just given his horse a pack, jumped the second fence. Here we go, we see him jump the oxer. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you can just see on the way down, Philip is doing everything he can just to get the horse to slow up, back up, come off the top rail. Fernando just put his head in the air, got a little bit confused for a second and didn't comply. There'll be another day.
Absolutely, as we proceed to Roberto Privatali with Kashmir van de Oude Pastri, the 16-year-old gal, Italy.
This is a big horse. You can see covers an awful lot of ground. He's a 16-year-old. Big horse now. Roberto is going to use that stride to best advantage. Now has the support on the way out. Yeah, makes the adjustment. You can see the rider sat really still. Now cruises up the distance here. 4, 5, 6. Pops that. Now really neat and tidy back here to the tall vertical. Now squeezes him up again. Now knows he's got a load of stride. You can see covers the ground, this horse. Big in over the oxer. Sits up, pops the vertical. Now this is a big oxer. Jumps it on the angle. And for a big horse, he's very nimble on his feet. You can see on the angle again. Now keeps coming across. Supports the horse with his outside rein. Gives him a little encouragement. 3, 4. A little help off the ground. Last fence coming up. He's a big horse, not as nimble as our current leader. Oh no!
How disappointing. It is the last fence that goes. 73-31. An unfortunate 4 faults then for Roberto Privatali, Italy.
Here we can see him in the combination, brilliantly ridden. Watch how quiet Roberto sits for the last part, keeping his balance, helps his horse. And there you see, look, eyes on the next fence already. He's in the air, sits quiet. Unfortunately.
Well, she was the first to produce a clear. She's the current leader. Let's hear from Nadia Peter-Steiner.
Nadja, well done. The first clear round of the class. Tell me how it went for you.
Thanks a lot, first. Yeah, amazing round. One more for Nice. She gives everything so much for me. She's a fighter, and for one more time, it happened all in a good way.
And you're very experienced here in the Doha Equestrian Tour. Tell me how this course has compared to the others.
Yeah, now we are here since a few weeks already, so we're still happy to be here. The course is quite special. The distance a bit between forward and backward, so we have to choose. My first plan was not at all like this, so I changed a bit plan during the tour, but I was lucky. Everything was working in the end.
There's only been 2 clear rounds so far. Do you think it's a particularly challenging course?
Yeah, it's definitely. I think I didn't saw many riders yet, but I think there are a little bit faults everywhere. So that's in the end what the courses will like. There's not one difficult, but a bit everywhere. So.
Well done, and good luck for the rest of the class.
Great to hear from Nadia Peter-Steiner there, the first of the clears and the current leader. That time set at 68.43. Only Matthew Morrison has been able to produce a clear round as well. And we still have 32 left to go. Surprising so far? Any surprises, Tom?
No, it walks very careful. It is riding very carefully. It's very delicate. Some of them have come in and put on what looked like winning performances just to nick a rail. So there's a few hard luck stories out there. So it'll be interesting now to see what the second half of the start list, of what they're going to do. I think you're going to see a little bit more conservative approach from a lot of the riders. They'll want to get a clear round, obviously. There's a couple of speed merchants in it who are going to throw caution to the wind and try and win the class. I'm looking forward to seeing them. It'll be interesting. What have we gone? We've 11 gone, so there's a lot to play for. Yeah, we've 43, so a quarter of the way through. I suspect we're going to get 12 or 14 clear rounds by the time we're finished.
Well, sit back, relax, and enjoy the evening or afternoon, wherever you may be watching around the world. A prize fund here of €106,000 with Alshaqab under the bright lights here of the Longines Arena. Founded by His Highness the Father Emir Sheikh Hamad bin Khalifa Al Thani, it was built on the site of the Battle of Alshaqab, and has turned into a global venue for international equestrian sports. We proceed back to the action with Marlon Mondolo Zanatelli, a rider we've heard in the studio. Great to get his perspective, as he is a former Pan American Games double gold medalist. He is highly disciplined, but extremely effective rider. He comes in tonight with a string of top 5 finishes, including third in a 5-star 155 just 2 weeks ago, riding Charlie Hart for Brazil.
Yeah, this 10-year-old mare by Corner Dublinsky. I think we've a little bit of a sneak preview. Laura, his student, said this is her pick to win the class. So she has the inside, we have inside stable knowledge on this one. A beautiful mare, look at the expression, she's really athletic, beautiful type, and super over the first fence. And immediately Marlon sets off to the second. He's not leaving any chances here. He's really, this is a winning round if he can hold it all together. Back tight to the oxer. 5-6 strides up, that's brave. The mare's so light on her feet. Look at her skip in the second part. Now again, lands away, lovely balance. 4-5, this is brilliant. Now tight back, eye on the fence, keeps coming through the corner. Lovely and straight, presents beautifully. This is brilliant riding. He's just settled it just that little bit on that middle section. Now we watch him wind it up again, get this big oxer out of the way. And now you can see, watch the body language. Drops the shoulder, pushes through the corner, jumps this on the angle. Now he's going to stay coming forward here now. What's he going to do here now? I suspect he's going to go forward. 2, 3, 4. Lets the mare stand off that, but she's so careful. Coming to the last fence, this has to go into the lead, for sure.
68.43, that's the time to beat, but 67.76, that's the new standard as Marlon Mondolo Zanatelli produces a clear with Charlie Hart, Brazil.
Yeah, look, we got a preview to this. There's his kids with his wife. Angelica opened the kiss and cry. This was foot perfect all the way through. I thought this was beautifully ridden. Started off really brave. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He was as fast as he could be. Back to 6. Just calmed a little bit. Let the mare catch up with herself. Didn't rush her off her feet. We see her here in the combination. She was so light on her feet here. Watch Marlon. Yes, there's the fan club. They know Daddy's class. He's world class. And he's gone into the lead. Big smile.
Look at that smile. Right up to the family. Wonderful to see. So have to follow that performance. Well, we go now to one of the busiest riders on the tour this year. She's had multiple top 10 finishes in the 5-star division over the last 6 weeks, but she arrives fresh from that brilliant performance where she finished second in that massive 150 5-star ranking class last week. Riding Texas, Sierra Martinez Goyea for Spain.
Yeah, 15-year-old gelding by Turkish. Oliver Robbins' head mare. Again, beautiful type. You can see quick across the ground. And she means business. Sets out really quickly. You can see she opts for the 7. Up to the combination. Sits lovely and quiet. Balance coming out. Now, if she needs to knock Marlon off the podium, she's going to have to do something special. And her opportunity is here from the next couple of fences. The style is gone. That's her chance gone, I'm afraid. Pops the vertical, and that's also gone. Just got a little bit unraveled. And now this guy's just got himself, his timing's gone a little bit out, and like we often see, they have 1 or 2 fences, they can just get a little bit confused. Now she just settles it down again. You can see he's back on an even keel. And she'll just try and bring him home. Actually opts now to just bypass that fence. She's going to put her hand up and retire.
Yeah, while the 4 poles down, that would mean total of 16 shows. He has decided to save Texas for another day. Still 3 more days of jumping ahead of us here this week. Part of the CHI presented by Longines here in Alshaqab. Sierra Martinez Goyea, Texas.
Not to be today. Here we see him over the first fence. Started off really nice. She was keen from 1, 2, 3, and 4, and just picked it up, unfortunately. Just got a little bit low at the style at 6. Beautiful style over the first few fences. Was very neat and tidy through the combination. There we can see, just pushes that rail as he's coming up off the ground.
The first of the British riders with Jane Annette, known in the UK for her ability to produce horses. She's a mainstay of the British Nations Cup teams, and most recently helping Team GB to a podium finish in Rabat. She rides Jiwan for GB.
12-year-old gelding by E. Toulon. KPWN comes up nice and tight to the 3rd fence. Big oxer, a scopy type. You can see he goes high. Now she keeps him balanced to the combination. Goes to 7. Didn't work out on this occasion. She has the vertical down on the way in. And I think the hand is going to go up. She's opting to retire.
Yeah, another one that is going to save the horse for the rest of the week. That 12-year-old gelding, J1, has so much experience. Jane knows the connection and what the challenge that lies ahead. So it's better things to come, Tom.
Yeah, J1 just came to the combination. She wanted to go to 7 and get in quietly. You can just see the shape of the jump is not what you want. She needed a little bit more space there. J1 just dragged her up the distance. So not to beat today, and I think probably better decision just to save him. She knows the fitness levels. She knows where she is in our training program this early in the year.
Megan Mossinier on your screen now. Coupe de Coeur de Muse. This is a 10-year-old stallion with a rising, or one of the leading female riders in France, and especially here in Doha. She finished second in the 3-star World Cup Grand Prix last week, but that second finish in the Grand Prix here in Doha just a number of weeks ago in our 5-star Grand Prix. Megan Mossinier, France.
Yeah, she's put on some superb performances. She's been so smooth, really organised, executed wonderfully in the rounds we've seen her compete on. Keeps coming through the corner here with this guy. Very brave in there. She's coming up on the 6-stride pattern. And that's excellent. Gets in really nice. You can see supports him on the way out. He's only a 10-year-old, but she's always had this lovely forward style. Leaves out, moves up there, doesn't wait around, turns back really tight. You can see he's only a 10-year-old. He's a stallion, but he's very light on his feet. Now this is where we need to keep coming. Up to the double Oxerain, 1 stride to the vertical. You can see what a conscience he has. Reaches for the back rail. He needs to do the same again. And again, super careful. Now pushes through the corner. Jump this on the angle. We get a good shot here. A little bit from right to left. Squares up for the Oxer. Now let's see what she does here. 1, 2, 3. He's a huge stride. Stands off the vertical. Coming to the last fence. Let's keep an eye on the clock. Last fence to jump.
67.76. It is exactly the same time as Marlon Mondolo Zanatelli. We have Eclair by Megan Mossinier to joint first at this stage with Coupe de Coeur de Muse.
How can that be? 2 horses, 650 kilos over how many meters? I'm not sure. The course is
490 meters.
490 meters, and we end up exactly on the same time. It is ridiculous. But that's how tight our sport is. It's how competitive it is nowadays. There is absolutely nothing between these top horse rider combinations.
Well, as you see on your screen there, it's now joint first with Marlon and Megan, and third is Nadia Peters-Steiner, with the fourth and the slowest of the clears, Matthew Morrison, in fourth there. But we go to Khaled Al-Mabdi and Davenport VDL, arguably one of the most informed Saudi riders right now. He arrived fresh from that victory in December in the 5-star World Cup Grand Prix on home soil in Riyadh. But last week finished second in the 5-star Grand Prix, part of His Highness the Emir Sorge show, riding for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Davenport is a 15-year-old stallion by D Montesemble out of an Indoctro mare. Lots of experience. Khalid is on a roll these days. Let's see what he wants to do in this class. Starts off nice and neat. Just keeping it nice and smooth with Davenport. He's got a big stride, hasn't wasted any room, any ground on the corners. Waits up to the combination, pops in. You can see the horse is very light on his feet. Gives a little squeeze for the vertical and now moves up here. Jumps this Oxer. 4 or 5 strides. He's turning already in the air. He's winding this up as he goes through. Now, slightly different approach to some of the others. Keeps coming here to the double of verticals. Gives him plenty of space. And now, keep galloping. Meet this going forward. Open your right hand. Drop back quickly. Horse is very good on the back rail. Really read it. Jump this on the angle. He has done. Gallop to the corner. Up the inside line. He's going to keep coming here again. Good shot. 2, 3. Trust your horse. Last fence coming up. He's there or thereabouts. He's got to be brave. Get the shot he wants. Has he done it?
He clears the last fence. It's 68.52. It's not quite quick enough to go into the lead. A big cheer here in the arena. It's good enough for 4th place for Khaled Al-Mabdi and Davenport VDL.
Yeah, I think Khaled has done everything he could here. Started off beautifully, kept it nice and organised. Good into the combination. We see him here. Gave his horse every chance to jump a clear round. Horse and rider really working well together. You can see great connection between the two of them. That's probably as quick as he could go this evening and leave all the fences standing. So I know he'd love to be on the podium. Currently in 4th place. He's not on the steps.
Well, he was second in that big 1.5 million 5-star Grand Prix last week. To the winner of that Grand Prix, Abdullah Alshaqab, his fellow countryman, goes next. Andro is a 16-year-old gelding that he joins us with, also for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and ranked 56 in the Longines World Rankings.
By Quintero with a Gasperi mare. He's had a phenomenal tour so far. Even took the off week and went to another 3-star show where he won the Grand Prix. Oh, he's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up to the combination. Brilliant in the middle. Now set sail again. Watch, the elbows are moving. Gets it accurate. Reaches for the back rail. Whoa, you can see sits back.
Well, he is raising his hand to the ground jury. He is now putting his hand up, indicating that there is an issue or he is unhappy with an element of the course. But as you can see on your screen there, the ground jury have not stopped the clock. So the rule is that a rider, if they feel that they're interfered with, must stick their hand up. But the ground jury will only stop the clock if they feel that the objection is warranted or justified. So with the clock continuing to tick on here, Tom, means that the ground jury are not going to accept whatever that has been indicated here by Abdullah.
I'm not sure. I didn't see. I was watching the horse. I'm not aware of what may have caught Abdullah's eye or what he feels is was the issue on that occasion. Like you say, the clock has kept running, and now he continues on his way again. He's had that fence down. Not really sure what's happened on this occasion now. Obviously, when you stop in the middle of a round like that, it's very, very difficult to get back and get going again. Difficult for both horse and rider. Now he's coming to keep. You can see he's gone wide now to 10. And I'm sure he's just going to finish out his round and try and figure out what happened here. 2, 3, 4 pushes to that. And again, just very, very difficult for a horse having lost his momentum. And that's what the shake of the head is about. It's just, unfortunately, difficult for the horse here to realize what's going on. He stopped in the middle of a round and then had to continue on again.
Well, he has been eliminated for Abdullah Alshaqab and Quisandro. And not to be here this evening, but a man that's very much on form. We look forward to seeing him back in the arena later this week.
Yeah, we have 5 clear rounds to date. We have, what, 18 combinations, 43 coming to post. .41 coming to post.
Well, we will continue with the jumping here, and we are actually coming up to the halfway point of this class in just 5 partnerships time. At that stage, we will have some studio analysis from our analyst Tom Frayne, joining back in the studio with Hannah, along with some guests, I'm sure, to discuss the joint leaders at the moment. It's absolutely incredible, down to hundredths of a second, the exact same time. Marlon Mondolo Zamatali and Megan Monssignier are the current leaders. As we go to the Egyptian rider Ismail Osama El Bori, he goes with a 10-year-old mare by El Rado Vendi Sizhuk with Ledante.
Yeah, the countdown clock is on, what, 31 seconds, 30 seconds, so we're away we go again. You can see another horse with a Hackmore on him and a nice lovely flat noseband on it. This horse is obviously very sensitive. Ismail is a big world ranking, but I'm sure by the time he's finished his tour, we'll see him move up in the world rankings. Very good coming out of combination. You can see he's got his eye on the fence, gets his horse nice and balanced. Oh, the back rail is gone. Sorry, front rail is gone on this occasion of fence number 5. Riders seem to have figured it out. We saw a few have it down earlier in the competition. Big canter in this horse. You can really see those 2 hind legs like pistons pushing the horse forward, giving him all the scope that he needs. Huge over that back, over that oxer, really reaching for the back rail. And now I'm going to jump this a little bit on an angle again. Keeps on in rhythm. He knows he's had a couple of fences down. Keep your horse going, keep him motivated. You can see that outside rein just supporting him through the corner. Pops the last fence.
Total of 12 then in 69.86 for Ismail Osama El Boré and Levante for Egypt.
There you can see that snaffle, just a broad noseband on it. I have a double noseband on it, really. Beautiful over that tall vertical, 1.50 meters. There we go, it just catches it with that off hind and just rolls it off again. You can see how light that pole is.
Total of 5 so far have produced a clear round in this one round speed at a height of 1.50 meters. Longines ranking points up for grabs, but more importantly, qualifier for the Grand Prix here on Saturday. Niels Bruinseel's tactical precision he's known for. He's a former winner of major titles, the likes of Rolex Grand Prix in the Dutch Masters. He placed third in the LGCT Grand Prix of London and arrives as one of the favourites here this week. He rides Chaco's Lando OL, Belgium.
13-year-old stallion by Alshaqab Blue out of a Lando mare. Beautiful horse, you can see, real specimen, fabulous conformation. Look at the length of rein, strength across the back. It's so light on his feet. Skips down to the combination, and he's very quick across the ground as well. You can see cheek snaffle. Very quick on the roll back here, using the horse's athleticism and lightness of foot. Ooh, little bit of a rub, I think, on that rail, but he got away with it. Now comes to the double. Oh, unfortunately, that front rail is gone. He was brave up that line. Comes across this, jumps the big oxer. He'll have heard that pole fall, but he wants to keep on a nice rhythm. He knows there's not that many clear rounds, and he's been quick at the start of the track. Pushes up here for the 4 strides. Horse eats the ground. And now last fence coming up. Knows he's not going to be quick enough. That fence down is going to keep him out of the winning slot.
4 faults in 69.95 then as he crosses that finish line. It's a rank 8th at the moment for Niels Bruinseel's Chaco's Lando's Lando LL for Belgium. Well, just the 5 clear so far, with the fastest 4 faulter ranking 6th at the moment. That's Christian van der Veen, as you can see, just knocking that front rail.
Yeah, gives the horse a pat. It was a good effort. But he's a beautiful looking horse, isn't he? Yeah. Stunning.
Well, we continue with 3 until that break. It's Sergio Nupperman Jr., deeply experienced rider on the international circuit, and has been a consistent presence here, part of the Doha Tour. But this 13-year-old mare, daughter of the iconic, legendary Chaco Blue, it's Carina Blue, Brazil.
Yeah, she's not the biggest mare, but she's very quick across the ground, and he uses that 4, 5, 6 up to the combination, pops in. You can see with this mare, she hasn't got a huge stride, so he's well able to use that to his advantage. So it allows him to keep coming forward. Again, watch him here. And again, pushes up the distance, and now he's really neat and tidy back here. He slows up a little bit, looking for his distance. Now, just goes a little bit wider here. He knows there's a big oxer on the way in. And again, she's so neat and tidy over the jumps, really uses her technique. Big oxer, careful of the back rail, has a little bump in front, but gets away with it. And this vertical. Jumping on the angle, she's so light on her feet. Now gallops at this, you can see, really committed here. 2, 3, pushes up the 4 stride distance. A little bit off that plank, and she just caught it behind. Really rode a calculated round.
Yeah, that's disappointing. The second last fence goes at 70.59 for Sergio Nupperman Jr. Just the 4 then, Brazil.
Yeah, really had a plan here. You can see he set out, knew where he could be quick on the track, and knew where he just had to be a little bit more patient and give the mare a real chance. This is into the combination. You can see he was working hard to get her to sit back on her hocks. Into the combination, real squeeze here, gives her a press for the oxer. And watch the mare here. She's super technique, really tries behind. Look at her ears, pricked again, reading the last fence.
We go now to Rad Nasser, and Esforzado Tilly Z has really been a consistent performer here, participant of the Doha Equestrian Tour, and goes for Jordan.
Yeah, first fence down has the back rail. That's going to shorten his evening, but he's here in the main arena at the 5-star shows. Great opportunity. This is only a 10-year-old by Eldorado and Josvik out of a Numeruna mare. So great opportunity to educate this young horse, get a bit of match practice, get to jump one of Juliano's courses. So he can go a little bit wider. Oh, just catches the back rail, takes the wing out of it as well. He drifted a little bit wide on that corner and back up the hill. Ever so slight, but it all matters. He's decided discretion's the better part of valor, and he's put his hand up. He's going to take an early shower.
Yes, deciding to retire there and save Esforzado Tilly's edge for another time is the Jordanian rider, Rad Nasser. Well, that means we just have the one left before we reach the arena maintenance break as the lights shine down here in the Longines arena of Alshaqab. We go now to the Emerald Isle, and flying the tricolour for Ireland is Deirdre Riley. She's the backbone of the Derry Glen stud, known for a good eye for talent and ability to produce horses to the highest level. She recently was confirmed part of the Scandinavian Vikings roster for the 2026 GCL season, and competed last year here in Doha. She is back again this year to participate in the wonderful arena of Alshaqab, but also the spectacular hospitality and weather that we experience in Qatar. His 12-year-old mare is Belgian Warmblood, a daughter of de Montesime, out of a Clearway Dam as we get underway. Slow get into the second fence, turn of the head, she eyes up the next line. Opting for the 7 down to the triple combination, a knock of the middle element. The front rail of that is down, so it is now a total of 8 as the third element goes also. She used this round as opportunities to gather experience here. Into the next combination. Slight rub of that front rail as we take the right hand roll back to 10. Slows up in the pace. There's no need to push for any further, knowing that the 2 rails are down. There's the Longines plank, just the one from home then. Time allowed is 79 seconds, so we have exceeded that. Last rail goes also, so it will be a total of 17 in the time of 83.91 for Deirdre Riley, Odemont Vant Lar, Ireland. Going into the first element, clears that well, slight rub of the back of the front rail, sorry, and then going out of the triple combination there as well. Slight rub there, gets away with it, clears that one. Then in the second element, clears as well, gives a nice pat as she leaves the arena. That is the backdrop of what has been the first of the Longines ranking competitions. That's the standings. As you can see, a joint first, Marna Montolo Zanatelli and Megan Mossinier with 67.76. Further down then, it's third to Nadia Peter Steiner. She was the first of the riders to produce a clear. Then the fourth at the moment, Khaled Almobti in 68.52, with fifth Matthew Morrison, Quebec 78.28. That's the 5 clears, with the fastest 4 falter displayed on your screen there as well. Kristen van der Veen with Starbucks for the USA. We'll be back with you after the break, but for now, don't go anywhere as we have some studio analysis.
Well, we're at the halfway stage in this 5-star speed competition. This is the feature class of the day with over 100,000 euros on the line for tonight's competition. One rider who jumped particularly well in this class has joined us in the studio. We are thrilled to have her here once again, Nadia Peter Steiner. Nadia, thank you for joining us again.
Thanks a lot.
Now, talk to us about this round, because there were only 5 clears. The course was quite tough.
Yeah, definitely. The course is tough enough. There are a bit faults everywhere, so that's also what is nice for riders and horses. I was lucky to be the first clear. I'm very happy about my mare once more. I had not the perfect round. The beginning of the course, I put a few more strikes in than the plan was, but I'm very, very happy about my mare once more.
Well, you mentioned that first part of your round. I think we have some images of your round to take a quick look at, so it'd be great if you could talk us through some of this, because it really was an absolutely sensational performance, and as you say, that first clear. We'll just get those in a moment then. Here we go.
Peter Steiner for Switzerland. Nice event. Zogabal. She
I put one more strike than the plan was. Then here I came around. I was a bit deep on the oxen, so I landed straight, and then same as well. I put one more strike for take a bit less risk to the triple bar, to the triple, sorry. And then here a bit the same. I was a bit too deep for myself, and then I made 5 strikes behind, but she was really fighting for me. From this part, it went easier. I had a bit more the forward distance than it was the plan. And yeah, she really fought it once more.
She looks like she's fun to ride in there.
She is definitely. She is most of the time really, really motivated. When she gets too motivated, it gets a bit difficult. Then she wants to turn faster than I want. But today she was really easy to ride.
This is excellent stuff. We could have a new leader. Could it be the first clear?
Yeah, Tom, very much one of those standout performances then this evening.
Oh, beautiful round. Nadia, tell us a little bit of what it must feel like to have a nice round like that over a really technical, delicate track set here by a world-class course builder.
Yeah, the feeling was amazing. Okay, it was not planned everything like this, but she makes me the life easy. She makes me yeah, the plan can change. That's the life. Horses are animals. We are not always perfect, but she is always a mare who tries to do everything in a good way and makes me the life easier.
It's great watching you, because you seem to enjoy it so much. The connection you have with your horses is so obvious to us. We can really see the relationship you have with your horses. It's so finely tuned. You both look like you're really enjoying the sport. And these course builders, you know, they bring out the very best in the riders, I believe. It looks like a lot of fun.
Thanks a lot, thank you. Yeah, I think the partnership to all of my horses is really an important point for me. I need to be close to them and to understand them in the best way possible. And that helps you also when you're in the ring to make it different courses easier.
Well, look, your world ranking, it's obvious that you've had a really successful run up to this, and it's just getting better and better. You know, you've had a couple of wins already at the 5-star level, and I'm sure there's many more to come in the rest of, this tour alone. So we really look forward to what your next ranking is going to be. It's really impressive. Well done.
Yeah, definitely, and thanks a lot. The ranking this year is amazing. I had an amazing year with all of my horses. And the points get more and more. I was not planned, but I was really surprised this month how we get up. So.
Oh, it's a phenomenal success, but well done, well earned. You've been phenomenal.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
Nadia, talk to us about the rest of your plans for this week then. What can we expect tomorrow and perhaps looking ahead to the Grand Prix?
Yeah, this weekend I don't know yet exactly the plan how it will be, but I have Mila who is on holidays this week, so it will play between nice and Clearant. So I will see how Clearant is jumping tomorrow and take my decision after for the Grand Prix.
Fantastic. We can't wait to see you later on in the week, and congratulations this evening.
Thank you so much.
Well, I'm hearing that the next horse is heading into the arena as we speak. So I'll hand it back over to Killian Thornton on the live stream and John Stokes here in the arena to take you through it all.
Thanks, Hannah. Great to hear from Nadia Peter-Steiner as the first clear of the competition. Just 5 clear with a joint leading time of 67.76. That's Marlon Mondolo Zanatelli along with Megan Mossinier that lead it here tonight. Well, that lady is restarting us off in the second half of the competition. She goes with this 10-year-old stallion. It's B Golden Lynx. And just 21 years old, she's already a seasoned team player. A key part of the Istanbul Warriors' victory in the GCL at London in 2024. Recently joined the Basel Cosmopolitans, though, for the 2026 season. She's based in Denmark, training under the watchful eyes of Andreas and Christian Schuh. An elite environment has clearly sharpened her tactical edge. Now consistently competing at 5-star level. This is Gerlin Throman for Switzerland. Well, off we go, and approaching the first fence, she breaks the beams, the time starts. We're off. Clears the Longines Oxer. Bending line to the second fence, a vertical. Slight bit of hesitation there. Re-steadies. Opting for a 7 stride there. Into the triple combination along the cafes and grandstand. On the right turn, knock of the fence there. That's a knock at fence 5. 2 water puddle trays under that fence. A left-handed turn into fence 7. Bending line to the next combination. 1 stride Oxer vertical. A stallion by Golden Hawk, Liverlock said Dam. Comes to the final partner with a knockdown at the third last fence. To the last fence. Slight rub at the front rail there, but remains in position. It will be 8 for jumping and 1 for time there, 79.03. That's a total of 9 for Geraldine Stroman, B Golden Lynx. Yeah, you can just see as she knocks that rail. Clears the plank, the Longines plank. The CHI of Alshaqab is presented by Longines. As we go to a rider next, that's for Poland, Polski. And this is Cameroon Red Z. This is Adam Geszegozewski. 10-year-old stallion. Spy exciting. He made his Olympic debut in the Paris 2024 games. Knockdown of the back rail there at fence 5. Out of the double. Steadies up, just got over that oxer there. And the backhanded knocks the vertical. The Equine Veterinary Medical Centre. The 4 strides down to the Longines plank with just the 1 from home. 2 on the ground, clears the last with 72.89 on the clock. It will be a total of 8 faults for Adam Gozewski, Poland. Yeah, disappointing there, but a great effort for the young man representing Poland. And back with me in the commentary box to take us through the remaining 18 left to go is Tom Frayne, as we welcome in the next partnership, and it is for Turkey, Alessa Irigo, Zazari and Dawson. This 13-year-old gelding is by Damontissime, and competing at the highest level here, has deep roots in the European and American circuits. A very highly disciplined rider, gets us going now.
Yeah, not the biggest horse, but really nice. Plenty stride, cheek snaffle. Looks through the corner, hasn't gone turned up too tight, giving herself every chance to jump a clear round here and try and beat the course builder. Has to press for the middle. Horse reacted brilliantly, and then good on the way out, supported nicely. Now sits nice and straight again, gets her horse balanced, and again, look at the reaction from this little horse. Lovely and light off the ground. You can see he's got that little grey patch on his nose. That's just to help his breathing. Comes to the double. Oh, has the front rail on the way in. You can see it's a bending line to the left. Now bending line to the right. Another big oxer. He's very good there. And again, goes that little bit wider. We'll see. Gets good and straight. Now pushes out. Straightens up. Good shot in. 3, 4 strides to the tall plank. Now last fence coming up. Keep it on the 4.
4 faults it is in 76-73 for Turkey's Alessa Irigo, Zazari and Dawson.
Yeah, younger athlete. Getting her opportunity here. You can see just the slightest little error from the horse. Just misjudged that front rail on the way up and just pushes it off. Here we see him on the first fence. Really nice type. Lovely technique. Yeah, well-deserved pat.
Moving on then to the German rider, Torben Kronbrandt, with an Irish-German connection with this 10-year-old Irish sport horse gelding. It's HK Carrera, and a rider that's widely respected for his ability to produce young talent. It's Torben Kronbrandt, Germany.
Yeah, this bred by Andrew Hughes and a stag stud. Again, Torben, a prolific producer of horses, bringing him up to this level. We saw him here last year, jumping in the Grand Prix. Now sits up and waits on the 7. Good in the combination, and again, really demonstrating what the rider has to do. Sits lovely and still, keeps your horse balanced. This isn't going to be a winning round. This is an educating round. Not hanging around though. Knows a clear round if he can keep it nice and neat. Might get him some prize money. So stays lovely and smooth. Now, good presentation here. Yep, gives the horse every chance. Now you can see again, keeps the horse nice and wide, gives him every chance. Oh, and that back rail unfortunately is gone again. It's a difficult turn back. You're jumping into the corner when you want to go right-handed. Now sets up the last line. Horse has loads of stride and nice and careful on the plank. Solid performance. Disappointed with the fence down, I'm sure.
4 faults then in 74.49 as he crosses the finish line. Germany's Torben Kloenbrandt with that gelding HK Carrera.
Yeah, I can just see here that difficult fence. Everything is pushing you to the corner to go left-handed when you actually want to go right-handed. You can see, I think the horse actually caught that with his girth, with his stud guard. Very good everywhere else. Real solid performance from a nice 10-year-old horse.
Well, we go to another 10-year-old. Really good breeding on this. As you see, Torben clear that plank. This is a clear-round machine, a mare that is one of the most reliable horses for this Jordanian rider. It's Nasu Keali, which is a mare by Armitage Boy out of a De Montesime dam, and goes for Jordan.
Again, you can see Hackamore and a snaffle bridle. Horse is really expressive in the air. Watch how she hinges behind the saddle, really throws her hind end up in the air. Again, loads of power. Now he needs to control here, ups on the 7. She's very good. Coming out, unfortunately, the first 2 parts of the combination down. Very light on her feet. Now just going to stay a little bit wider, get nice and straight to this. Knows that his chances of a podium are long gone with 2 fences down, but wants to educate this 10-year-old mare. Great experience here underneath the bright lights in this fantastic stadium. Great atmosphere. Yeah, he's gone nice and wide here to the vertical. And I'm sure she has plenty stride. He'll opt for the 4-stride pattern here after this oxer. 4 strides. Last fence coming up. Is going to finish on the 8 falls. Can he leave it at that?
Yeah, he does, but also into time, 80.03. That's a total of 10, 8 for jumping and 2 for time for Jordan's Nasu Keali and Grande di Punta.
Here we see in the combination. Opted for the 7-stride pattern on the way up. Didn't work out, just wanted to pop in over the first part. This is this big wide oxer with the little 2 small water trays underneath it. Look how scopy that mare is. When she gets there and it's nice and organized, she's very talented.
Proceeding to our next with 12 left to go and just the 5 clears so far. The Dual Sport Master, previous top level eventer, now switched to show jumping, is Duarte Sabre. He goes with Fernhill Leonardo, the prefix of Carol G, this 10-year-old gelding.
Yeah, I'm special to muse out of a Voltaire mare, KPWN breeding. Ooh, punches out the front rail, turned up the inside line. No, didn't work out on that occasion. Duarte started off with a real good rhythm, nice and strong. Fernhill Leonardo now is going to have just use this now to learn, get a bit of experience. And another one punches that pole out of it as well. Now settles down, gets back onto the rhythm. Big double here now. Oxer coming in. Has the front rail. We're on 12 penalties, unfortunately. Duarte is one of the real horsemen on the circuit, has a great empathy with the horses. I say has an eventing background originally, but he's been at the show jumping game for quite a long time now and competed at the Olympics. Just steps past that plank now. You're going to see his hand come up and he's going to retire on this occasion. There's not to be this evening. He'll go back out. Duarte knows his horses very well. He'll go back, have a look at the video. He'll decide what's not right today, and I'm sure he'll put it right fairly soon, and we'll see him back in the ring.
Yeah, he decides to exactly do that. He's retired Fernhill Leonardo, Duarte Sabre. But we continue to another French lady that has just recently joined us for this week. It is Zadron and with Gloria Gravolette. This is a 10-year-old mare by Crusador, out of an untouchable dam, and a lady that's consistently within the top 100 of the Longines world rankings. Secured a massive podium finish in the LGCT of Doha, placing third in last year in one of those classes, part of that show.
Yeah, 83 in the Longines world rankings, a really good marker. Had a phenomenal year last year, and obviously very strong at the back end. To get inside that top 100 is a phenomenal achievement. Sets out really nicely here on this 10-year-old mare. Beautiful type, sits up, great control up to the combination. A little bit of a rub on the way out, and now back on it. Nice and straight. Mare just opens her mouth a little bit. A little bit of a control issue there, unfortunately. Had the front rail down. You can see rider wanted to turn right a little bit, and the mare just drifted out. Now back on track, heading to this big double, moves forward to it, really brave. Now gets the change onto the right lead, jump the oxer across the line. Staying on a really good rhythm here now, trying to educate the mare. Knows she has a fence down, but sticking to the plan. Comes forward now for the 4, 2, 3, gets up the distance. You can see mare is very careful over the tall plank. Last fence to come.
It remains in the cup, so that's 4 faults then in 74.54 for the French lady. Jean Saurant and Glore Graboletti, France.
Yeah, just a little bit of a misunderstanding there. You can see that front rail really getting pushed out of the cups. Landed out of combination, just travelled a little bit forward, and when Janine just said to turn right, there was a little bit of resistance. The mare opened her mouth, and once you cross that centre line, it's very difficult to get the quality presentation to the jump that you're looking for, particularly to jump a fence of that challenging nature.
Well, we go now to the world number 36. He's ranked in the Longines ranking. This is with a 9-year-old stallion, the Baie de Monteseme. This is Diamantino and Germany's Christian Alman.
Yeah, he's been very busy. Has a number of horses here between the 5-star and the 3-star. Producing some really potential superstars. We see this is only a 9-year-old. And wow, look at that for a jump. Plain snaffle on him. Little sheepskin noseband on him. But now just slows up to the combination. Young horse is quite enthusiastic, and you can see Christian working a little bit more than we would normally see him. Normally the control panel is so subtle it's hardly noticeable. This 9-year-old stallion is a bit more energetic, a bit more enthusiastic, but he's very careful, very scopy. Big stride as well. He's really covering the ground here. Oh, look at that. He just skips in front of that double combination. Now, moves up to this. And again, this horse is so light on his feet. So athletic. This is very neat. I don't think he's going to trouble the leaders. But he's definitely looking for a good placing with this fella. Now, last fence coming up. We keep an eye on the clock. He's not too far away.
He clears the last fence, and with 69.36, that's a strong enough performance for Christian Alman to rank 5th at this late stage with Diamantino. Foot perfect there.
Yeah, this is a really nice young horse. You can see he's only a 9-year-old. Look at that for scope and technique out over the first fence. And again, when you consider he's only a 9-year-old and obviously not experienced at this level, imagine what this guy's going to be able to do when it just gets a little bit more fine-tuning. Super there in the combination. Look at that for technique coming out again as he trots out of the arena.
Well, let's hear from one of the riders that has just competed here at this later stages of the competition, Jean Saurant.
Jean Saurant, thank you for joining me straight from the main arena. Tell me, how was it like out there?
She was really nice. I'm really happy to be back there. And yeah, the show started well for me. My 2 other horses jumped really good. And the stadium is already really nice, and I'm really happy to compete there.
And it's a tough course out there. You know, there's not many clears.
Yeah, it really is tough run, so not so much many clear, but Uliano know exactly what he needs to do, and tonight we have a nice run.
Well done, and thank you for talking to us.
Thank you.
Well, lovely to hear from one of the riders, especially that has just competed here in the Longines Arena. Interesting to hear, Tom, some of these riders at this late stage with just the 6 clears, will they have adjusted their plan going into the arena? And then also, maybe if they do knock a fence, will they really push to be a fast 4 faulter?
Not sure if fast 4 faulter is actually going to be, unless you have a very early fence down and you're really motivated. I think with 6 clear rounds, you need, clear rounds is what you need. There's plenty of riders left in the last section that are going to want to give it a go. Hassan Turk, obviously, Emilian Gardiano, Laura Tribe has been on such a roll. And then look, Scott Brack, Matt Cooner, Millie Allen, Abdel Said, Jana Frederick Meyer Zimmerman. They're all winners. They're all Grand Prix. They're all 5-star winners. So it's going to be a good scrap, I think, for that between the last section. They're all coming in here. They have the benefit of seeing everybody else, and they know what the course is. They know where the challenges are. Hans-Dieter Dreyer down the far end there with Elysium. He'll definitely fancy his chances. There's a lot of very talented riders in that warm-up at the moment who would all fancy their chances of doing something. There's our interviewee back on her horse again, cooling it off. Really professional now. You can see everything being done to make sure these horses have every opportunity. So you can just see really nice steady trot. Just let the horse chill out, relax, get her heartbeat back down, get all that lactic acid out of her muscles. She'll be back in the ring again tomorrow.
That is the leaderboard at the moment. 6 clears and 6 displayed on your screen. But interestingly, joint first, 76.76. We've seen the warm-up there, Tom, for some of the viewers across the network. Talk us through what happens in that warm-up. So you will have seen some of the stewards, but the practice fences, walk us through.
We'll have 2 or 3 fences, maybe one vertical, 2 oxers. All the riders will come in. They'll have their own system, basically. But look, it's like any athlete. You've got to warm up your horse and get them warm, get their muscles warmed up, get them up to sort of competition, get their heart rate up. They'll just do a little bit of walk, trot, then a bit of canter, then they'll build that up. They'll maybe take a few minutes, then let the horse walk, chill out, relax, and then they'll start their jumping. And that's particular to each rider, but somewhere between sort of 12, maybe 15 fences in the warm-up arena. Starting off nice and small, a little vertical, just get the horse's muscles warmed up. And then depending on the individual horse, what they want, they'll jump maybe 3 or 4 verticals, build it up to what one. This is a 1.50 meter track. It's unlikely they're going to jump that big out in the warm-up. Probably jump up to about 1.40 meter. Then they'll go to the oxer, and again they'll start off nice and small and they'll build that up. A lot of riders will jump a decent size oxer, maybe the same size as the first fence before, and then they'll go back and possibly jump a tall vertical. That would sort of be kind of a normal pattern for these riders. And then walk up the chute, go through your plan. Maybe your trainer's there with you. You'll go through the numbers, refresh it a little bit like you'll see any athlete. Maybe the downhill skiers go through that mind map that you have, and then the bell goes and off with you.
And that is exactly what has happened for the next rider. Now under the bright lights, as we've seen some of the faces that have gathered around the side of the arena to watch on our previous recipient of His Highness the Emir's Sword last year, 2025. She put up a really tough battle to retain it this year, but got into that final round, the 3rd round, the jump-off round. Wasn't able to quite do it, but she is very much on form. She's ranked 41 in the world with Iron Dams, high level for Germany, Jana Frederica Meyer Zimmerman.
Yeah, 11-year-old mare by Livello. Starts off as she means to continue. Lovely and neat back to the 2nd, 3rd fence. Now leaves out a stride up to the combination. Bit of encouragement to the last part. Now straight, look at that for intensity. You can see really focus on the next race. She's riding every stride on this mare, and that's what you want to do. Now takes a little settle. This is in a Hackamore. She's really galloping here. Now she sets sail up to the double combination. Oxer in, vertical out. Now goes a little bit wider. This is the ride, this is the approach I think you need. Drifts across it now. Just takes a little breather. Now lines up the vertical, comes on the angle, really comes from right to left. Now bends the horse around her inside leg. You can see her really encouraging. Sets sail to the planks. She's clear. Now she's going to gallop to the last. This is a contender. We may have a new leader. Here she goes.
Could it be quick enough? It certainly looks like it. 67.19, over half a second quicker. The relief on her face. She is so pleased with that performance. Iron Dams high level, and Germany's Jana Frederica Meyer-Zimmermann goes into the lead.
Yeah, the body language said it all. You can see she set sail from the very first fence, galloped down. She set off with purpose. The mare was phenomenal all the way through. You can really look at her pushing for the last part of the combination. Look, there's determination. Eye on that top rail, keeps her balance. Yeah, there's a rude smile. She knows they were excellent. Yeah, she's got her nose in front. Now she's going to have to sit and wait.
Well, you could see the determination on her face as she went round counting every stride. But this man is a big winner here in Doha. In fact, he's a two-time Longines Global Championship Grand Prix winner here in Alshaqab. Riding Watnan Zazu von Klashoff, a 12-year-old mare, is Belgium's Abdel Said, ranked 20th in the world.
Yeah, we go from one 5-star Grand Prix winner to another multiple 5-star Grand Prix winner. And now watch this guy, he knows his way around. He's a winner as well. Very smooth. Turns up really tight here to the third fence. He's going to come up on the 6, he has to. But beautifully presented, great control in. Skips through the middle part. Horse really light on his feet, and now push, a little bit of leg on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Drops back really quickly. Oh no, that top rail is gone. That's one of our serious contenders out of contention. And another rail afterwards. He'll keep coming now, I suspect. Jumps the double. Now he'll go a little bit wider. He knows he's on the 8 falls. These guys have such feeling. They know exactly what's going on. They can really read the situation. So a little bit wider here. Comes to the third last fence. Big Oxer. And now he'll just gallop down to the end. I'm sure if he was still clear, he'd be going on a lot quicker than he is now. But even still, look at the time.
8 falls down in 69.76 for Abdel Said. 2 on the ground with Watman Zazu van Klashoff.
Yeah, really neat start. Set sail, nice and organized. That's the fence, the 4th last fence. Here's the Longines. This is our first fence. No, sorry, excuse me, this is the plank. Horse really good here again, everything nice and settled. Abdullah just slowed it all down, got it all organized. But it was the tall style at 6, the tall vertical at 7.
We go now to what I like to call the British Speed Queen. She's an 11-time European medalist already early in her career. Youth level, transitioned very well to the senior level with a 10-year-old mare now. Quickly D, Van Het, Leersen Lidenhof, Millie Allen, Great Britain.
Starting off nice and organized. He's only a 10-year-old, not the biggest mare. Again, we know Millie is very, very quick and very competitive. She's just going to wind it up as she comes through the course. Unfortunately, front rail down has taken her out of it, and another rail. She's on the 8 penalty. She's not going to be getting any prize money this evening. Quickly living up to her name, but unfortunately, she needs to leave all the fences in the cups. Big step up for these younger horses to come into this stadium arena. I'm sure a few more rounds under her belt and she'll be able to use that natural speed this mare has across the ground. Lovely expression from the mare. She's really reading what's in front of her now and has settled into the course particularly well. Keep an eye on her for the remainder of the show.
Yeah, still plenty of jumping ahead of the week, and she clears that last fence with the 8 jumping then in 70.31 for Millie Allen. Great Britain, Quickly D, Van Het, Leersen Lidenhof.
Here we go. You can see that front rail just getting pushed out. This is the big Oxer over the far end of the arena. The mare comes up on the right hand side of it. You can see it really stretches to make the back rail.
We move on to another British rider and one of the most decorated young riders in British history. He's multiple European medals to his name. Also, he's the winner of a 2-star Grand Prix early in this 10-week tour, in the first week, in fact. And we'll have some great advice at the in-out gate and in the warm-up with his mum and dad, former Olympians, giving him lots of advice, I'm sure. Ollie Fletcher rides Casanova 1 BVLZ, Great Britain.
Yeah, starts off, this is a real blood horse. You can see very light on his feet. It's only a 10-year-old stallion by Codex 1 out of an Air Jordan mare. Nicely presented here now to the Oxer. 4, 5, 6, goes to 7, stride pattern. Who has the back rail down a little bit green, I think, on the horse. Ollie presented him in lovely there. You can see really positive ride up the hill to that Oxer. And again, look at that for position and balance from this young athlete. He's only 22 years of age, but already competing at the highest level. Now, really nice across here. Again, with a young horse like this is a real learning experience. You know, these young horses, they have to learn how to go that little bit quicker, pick up the fences, keep their balance. You know, they have to work with the rider. It doesn't just happen overnight. It takes years of production, years of training. And look, you've got to get into the arena and teach these horses what's required of them to be competitive at this level. Horse is finishing up really, really well here now. You can actually see the horse improve as he goes through the track. Gets a little bit more comfortable. Watch his ears as well. You can see he's starting to listen to Ollie. I think he'd be very happy with that performance. Really smart round.
4 false then, just the one down. Unfortunate for the young man from Great Britain, Ollie Fletcher. Casanova 1 BVLZ.
This is coming down to the first fence. Again, watch Ollie here. Body, lovely position. Look at his hands. Again, look, he's in the air. He's already looking for the next fence. Doesn't take his eye off it. Keeps that focus all the way through. Keeps his balance. Look, lovely soft hand. Middle part of the combination down. I don't think there's anything Ollie could do.
Next to a giant of show jumping, it's Hansi Dreher. This is Elysium, his 14-year-old gelding, ranked 55 in the Longines World Rankings, Germany.
Yeah, he was on fire last week. He was actually, I think every class he put on a serious performance. Got a number of very good placings. If he can hit a real sweet rhythm with this guy, they could be contenders. Elysium's a very talented horse. Loads of experience. You can see he just skips through the combination. Hansi's on fire these days, so if he can keep it going now and stay on that really smart rhythm, himself and Elysium are very quick. That's very tight back there. That's the tightest we've seen of anybody. He's in contention. Now pops into the double. Oh, unfortunately, the back rail is gone. That was the slightest of touches. This was a super round. You can see he's on the inside track everywhere. Beautiful rhythm all the way through. Without that fence down, he definitely would have been a contender. He's staying on a good pattern now. We're just going to have to judge and see if we think he would have been quick enough. Looking for a quick 4 falter, as you had asked me earlier on. Look at the time.
Yeah, looking for that quick 4 false, not forgetting that it is a qualifier for the Grand Prix. So 66, 75 and 4 for Hansi Dreher and Elysium, Germany.
That is the quickest of the 4 falters by a distance. And the quickest round we've seen this evening. Elysium was very, very good. Just this is the most unlucky fence down I've seen this evening. That's the slightest of touches. Unfortunately, we're not going to see it again, but it'll shake it ahead.
Well, the time to beat is 67.19 as Hassan Sentur goes for Turkey. Just 4 days ago, secured a brilliant 4th place in our 155-star class here in Alshaqab. He rides Avant-Toi.
Avant-Toi is very quick across the ground. He's not the biggest horse. We've seen him here over the weeks. Very, very competitive. Hassan, you can see, knows the horse so well. Comes out on the right-hand side of the combination. He's going to save every inch that he can around this track. This is a really careful little horse. Watch him through the corner here now. Not super tight. This is a percentage round. He's not going to be quick enough to trouble the leaders, I don't believe. But he wants a good placing and he wants a good qualification for the Grand Prix. Little rub on the vertical. Now again, Oxer coming up, jumps it across the angle, makes sure he stays nice and straight. And you can see, comes through the corner, not really up against the railing. Slows up a little bit. We've seen Hassan, when he wants to win a class, he doesn't take a pull. Now let's see what he does here. Little horse opens his stride, really good and super careful on the plank. Last fence coming up.
Won't be quick enough to go into the lead, but a good clear and 71.85. He'll be pleased with that, as that produces the 8th clear and into rank 7th. Hassan Centre.
Hassan knew exactly what he was doing here. His little horse is a real trier. He made a tactical decision to be neat and tidy everywhere, keep up a nice rhythm, but he knew that he was just slightly outside those really competitive lines. But he knew if he got a clear round, leave all the poles in the cups, that he's going to get some prize money.
Well, 4 big names left to go to finish us off here tonight, and the speed merchant himself from Italy. He's ranked 48 in the world by the Nicolaj. The music, a 13-year-old stallion, is Emanuele Guardiano.
Yeah, he's setting off at pace already. You can see 7 up the first distance, comes up to 6 here now into the combination. Watch this horse, he's so good with his body in the air. Really opens his shoulder, and then real awareness of where his hind end is. So skips over that big Oxer now. You can see Mayo sits back up to that tall vertical. He's so quick back here again. Skips over that. Now he can keep galloping here. He knows his horse has a lot of scope and uber careful. Backs off. Now he means business. He needs to keep it coming here now. Get the turn back as quick as he can. Doesn't lose any time. Really neat. He's on the inside line. Jumps on the angle. Now he gallop up here to this Oxer. Keep coming on the 4 to the plank. Helps them off the ground. Last fence coming up. We have a contender. Is this going to take over the lead? Let's see.
It's quick. It's not as precise as he was hoping as the front rail of that last fence goes, and you could see the disappointment as he sighs when he hears the pole hit the ground. A quick 4 faults it is for Emanuele Guardiano.
Oh, he did everything. He was foot perfect all the way around. Presented his horse to every fence going forward. Look at the horse. He's got such a conscience. Brilliant. Just that last fence, the off 4. This timing wasn't as neat as it wanted to be. Emmanuel, he can't believe it. He beat the clock.
Yeah, would have been good enough to go into the lead there here tonight, but the 4 faults, the fastest of the 4 faulters, means he ranks 9th. With the 3 left to go, the winner of the first competition here this week. For France, Laura Triba and Catania.
This young French lady has taken this show by storm. She was brilliant last week. She's a winner already. And here we go. Sets out on a nice rhythm here. It's not a match-winning pace. Goes on the 7th stride to the combination, gives herself plenty of room inside. You can see the horse really light on his feet. And now keeps coming up here. Oh, has that front rail down. 11-year-old by my Lord Qatar go. You can see, she knows she's at a fence down. She just goes that little bit wider now. Good into the double. And again, you can see just goes that little bit wider. Gets a really good shot to the Oxer. Keeps her horse nice and organised. Straight to the vertical. And you can see, gets the horse around her inside leg. Nice and straight. Horse has loads of stride. She actually has to wait on that 4 stride distance. Last fence coming up. This is a really lovely canter on this horse. Covers the ground so well.
4 faults in 74.69. France's La Triba and Catania.
This is that fence again. It's had a couple of claimed plenty victims today. Back rail, front rail. Comes up just after the combination. It's quite a tight turn back to it. Super at the Longines planks.
We proceed to the penultimate combination. He won 5 Grand Prix here, part of the Doha Equestrian Tour. 3 of them 5-star level. And that meant he officially returned to the top of the Longines World Rankings in February. He rides Hello Jefferson, a 17-year-old Belgian warm blood with so much experience. He remains one of the fastest and most powerful horses in the planet, evidenced by the Rolex Grand Slam win in Spruce Meadows. Scott Brash, Hello Jefferson, GB.
Cruises up the first distance on the 7th stride. He's inside everybody else coming to the 3rd. Gallops up to the combination. Watch Jefferson just backs up, pats the ground with his feet and skips out on the right-hand side of the 3rd part of the combination. If you can watch him, he's inside every other track here. He's such a nimble horse. And again, look, he's so tight back here, has to be in front at this stage. Now Scott just keeps cruising. Again, inside line. Oh, back up. Now sit up. Now he can go a little bit wider here. Jumps it on the angle. And Jefferson, he's so quick. Again, he's inside everything else. On the angle. This 17-year-old has been around the world. He's won so many classes. Just keep it together now. He has this class in the bag if he just holds it and leaves the last fence up. Here he comes, has to go into the lead.
Time to beat is 67.19. That is a significant lead. 3 seconds quicker than what was the leading time. The world #1 goes into rank 1. What a round by Great Britain's Scott Brash.
What a relationship he has with Hello Jefferson. They know each other so well. Scott knows what he's capable of. Cut every corner. Was as neat. Look, there you can see he's taking the flag off that. He's that close to the side. Again, watch him here. He jumps everything on the angle. This is this tricky oxer. Look at Jefferson. He said, don't you worry, I have this, boss. Goes high, goes wide. Again, he was so quick back from the style, back to the vertical up at the pocket. Brilliant round.
Just super to see that 17-year-old being consistently performing at this level as we go to the final partnership. Scott Brash leads at 2nd is Jana Frederica Meyer Zimmerman, and joint 3rd Marna Mondolo Zanatelli with Megan Mossinier. That's the top 3, top 4 riders at least with that joint 3rd. And Max Kuhner steps forward as last to go here tonight. He rides Greece. This partnership won the €106,000 speed challenge at 5-star jumping here in fact, the last week of January, with this 12-year-old mare by My Lord Comthago, Austria's Max Kuhner.
He's a 12-year-old. Plenty of experience. Max won't be fazed by what's gone before him. He knows exactly what his horse is capable of doing. He's won at the highest level. So this horse is a really big stride. Max is just using that now and letting the horse travel as easy as he can. That's his quickest way from A to B. Just let this horse just float along. And again, look again, top class rider coming out on the right hand side. Stays up on the inside. Jumps the oxer. Grease very light on his feet as well. Hard to beat Hello Jefferson on a foot race. He's such an athlete and using all his experience. Max very neat and tidy. He has to make an alteration up there and settle up a little bit. Now he keeps coming, bowls the line, comes from right to left to right, and again very neat and tidy back on the turn back. This is a superb round. What a partnership as well. Any other day we'd be looking at this as a potential winner. But is he looking at 2nd place? Don't think he's going to get to the bleeder.
Well, it is a knockdown there, so 4 faults and 65.02 at fence number 11. The back rail goes for Austria's Max Kuhner with Greece. Able to rank in the top 10 there as he concludes as the fastest of the 4 faulters. Well, that concludes the jumping here. Tom, great competition as the feature class.
Oh, fantastic. I've really enjoyed this evening. Fair play to the riders. They've come in one after the other and really risen to the challenge that Uliana Fasani has set them. Beautiful course, so delicate across the way. I think it's been a fantastic test of horse and rider. You know, that relationship that they have. He's tested everything, length of stride, control, scope, carefulness. Brilliant course again. And a brilliant competition.
But the great thing is that it's only started. It's only day number 1, so much ahead.
So much more to look forward to. I'm going to studio.
We look forward to seeing you back in the commentary box tomorrow, but as you say, you are off to the studio. That is the result displayed on your screen. A win here for Scott Brash. The world number 1 does it again. Second, Jana Frederica Meyer-Zimmermann, with third being joint between the Brazilian rider Marla Mondolo-Zanotelli and Megan Mossinier. That's the top 3 with those 4 athletes. As we continue down the line, well, that is a superb competition, as it just gives us a little taste, as we say, of what is to come here this week. This is the CHI of Alshaqab, presented by Longines. We started off with 21 nations, a total of 41 starts in this €106,000 competition. We'll have the prize-giving ceremony in just a moment with further studio analysis. But for me, Cillian Thornton, it's bye-bye for now.
What an incredible competition for this first day of the CHI Alshaqab event presented by Longines. A fantastic first day of competition with that opening 5-star 2-phase class, and now a 5-star speed won by the world number 1, Scott Brash. Incredible performance there. We of course had some quite long-standing joint leaders, and then eventually Scott's taking over that leading spot by 3 seconds. A huge margin in the context of tonight's competition. We'll be looking to get a few words from our winner in a few moments' time, but in the meantime, our analyst Tom Frayne has made it back down to the studio to join me. So we'll have a little look back at tonight's competition. As I say, 3 seconds between your winning rider Scott Brash and his nearest rivals, which really was an incredible feat. He really had a foot to the floor. And Tom, just talk to us a little bit about, you were watching that keenly, of course, on our commentating team. Some performance from Scott tonight.
That was just fantastic. It was such a joy to watch. Look, we know how good a partnership they are. Scott's number 1 in the world. Hello Jefferson's a horse that's won so many big classes, 5-star Grand Prix, but they just came into the ring and they just set the light. They were just fantastic. The view that I have above in the commentary position, you can look down and see where the tracks of all the other horses are. And Scott was inside everything, all the way around. But Jefferson, if you look at him up close and see the expression on his face and the way he's reading what's happening, it's just intuitive. It looks like Scott's just sitting there. Now, we know that's not the case, but just the relationship between horse and rider is just so finely tuned. They just know what's happening before they've got there. It was a fantastic performance. He was over 3 seconds quicker than the second and joint second horses. It was fantastic.
Well, quite an incredible round to witness, and our team are down on the ground with Scott Brash, your winner tonight now.
Scott, huge congratulations, another 5-star to the tally. Tell me about your round on Hello Jefferson.
Yeah, Jefferson was incredible. Yet again, I was a bit lucky. Number 1, I hit the wing, and then out the triple, I only have to think where I'm going next, and he's really on it. So I have to be careful of that in the future. Just make sure keep him straight. But yeah, delighted with him. He's in top form.
And that was a 3-second margin there. Where do you think you saved the time?
He's just quick all around the course, really. If you can keep it smooth, do the numbers, he's always there or thereabouts.
And he's obviously one of your most experienced horses here in age. Do you think that helps out here?
Yeah, definitely. I know him so well. We really understand one another, and he's already looking for the next fence. At his age, he knows what we're doing, and he loves his job. So yeah, he's a joy to ride.
And you're edging away as #1 in the Doha Equestrian Tour overall rankings. How do you think it's going overall for you?
Good. Yeah, good.
Well, thank you very much and congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, how is it going? Very well indeed, by the looks of it, for Scott Brash, who retains his world #1 title here this month, of course, with a fantastic record across this Doha Equestrian Tour so far. So, Tom, you know, we were talking a little bit about the margin there, and you talked about those inside turns that Scott took. We saw a good few riders with some decent foot speed, but the turns really where you think he really made the win there.
Yeah, but that particular pairing were just able to go that little bit quicker. They jumped a little bit more on the angle. If you watch the combination in particular, he popped in the middle, was able to come up on the 6th stride, slow up. But actually, if you watch between the middle part and the last part, he actually drifted to the right. So he was already maybe 3-4 meters off that turn up that line. It was phenomenal how he did it. But that's experience, that's trusting his horse, and the relationship that they've built up over all these years. Remember, Jefferson is 17 now. You know, he's been around a long time, but obviously every day is a school day, and he's remembered it all, and he's put it all to good use today.
Absolutely. What an incredible performance, and of course an incredible win here tonight. The horses are just heading into the arena for tonight's prize giving ceremony, and this will be the final showdown of the evening. The prize giving team, and with our arena led by John Stokes, here for you this evening.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please welcome in your winner tonight, world #1 here in Alshaqab. It is for Great Britain, Hello Jefferson and Scott Brash.
السيدات والسادة، لنرحب الآن لمراسم تتويج الأبطال لمسابقة 150 سنتيمتر، ولنبارك للمركز الأول المملكة المتحدة سكوت براش هيلو جيفرسون.
Brilliant sport and brilliant action here this evening, and nothing to separate these two, finishing in third, both earning a place on the podium. Congratulations to France's Megan Moissonnier and Brazil's Marlon Modolo Zanatelli.
يصعد الآن لمنصة تتويج الأبطال للمركز الثالث من يشتركان بنفس النتيجة، فارسة فرنسا ميغان موزني وفارس البرازيل مارلون مودولو زاناتولي.
And congratulations in second. She's back here once more for Germany. Iron Dames High Level, Jana Frederika Meyer-Zimmermann.
ألف مبروك لألمانيا المركز الثاني يانا فريدريك ماير زيمرمان.
But top of the podium tonight for Great Britain, it's Hello Jefferson and Scott Brash.
يصعد الآن المركز الأول فارس بريطانيا سكوت براش. السيدات والسادة الحضور الكرام، سيطلب منكم الآن السيد جون معلق اللغة الأجنبية الوقوف احتراما لعزف النشيد الوطني للبلد الفائز بريطانيا العظمى سكوت براش.
Ladies and gentlemen, please, if able, be upstanding for the national anthem of tonight's winner, Scott Brash for Great Britain. it is an honour and a pleasure to welcome forward sports manager Salman Al-Suwaidi to make the presentation of awards. And of course, we start there by congratulating in third place, tied, well done to France's Megan Wassonnier and Brazil's Marlon Modolo Zanatelli.
نسعد ونفتخر الآن بحضور المدير الرياضي السيد سالمين السويدي لتتويج الأبطال.
Congratulations in second place. Alshaqab always bringing out the best in this lady. For Germany, Jana Friederike Meyer-Zimmermann. And the world number one is number one tonight here at the CHI of Alshaqab, presented by Longines, Hello Jefferson and Scott Brash. Our grateful thanks indeed to sports manager Salman Al-Suwaidi for stepping forward and making the presentation of awards this evening. It has been sport that has truly been second to none, and we're only just getting started here for the CHI of Alshaqab, presented by Longines, building all the way through to Saturday night's CHI Grand Prix, the biggest of them all in terms of week number 6 here of the Doha Equestrian Tour. But they are back on board, they're chomping at the bit as we say congratulations to the winner tonight for Great Britain. It's Hello Jefferson and Scott Brash.
حضورنا الكرام، جولة النصر يتقدم هذه الجولة صاحب المركز الأول.
Your winner tonight, Scott Brash for Great Britain. In second, it's Germany's Jana Friederike Meyer-Zimmermann, and tied in third, Brazil's Marlon Modolo Zanatelli and France's Megan Wassonnier.
Well, a fabulous first night of action at CHI Alshaqab, presented by Longines. What a stage this is. Our drone shot there just capturing this fantastic venue under the lights. It really is absolutely spectacular, and we're so thrilled to have a ringside seat here in our studio. Tom, that really was a great way to kick things off, wasn't it? A brilliant class, and I know you thoroughly enjoyed it.
That was a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed that class. We got to see some really talented horse rider combinations, and at the end of the day, we saw the #1 rider in the world on probably one of the best horses in the world put on one of the best displays I've seen for a very long time. He really put that class to bed. To win it by 3 seconds just goes to show how fast he actually was across what is a really delicate, careful 1.50 meter track. So fantastic performance.
Let's look ahead to tomorrow then. We've got a 3-star class for everybody and as well as a 5-star competition. So a 3-star speed, 5-star jump off class. That's set to be a big one too.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of riders who's kind of licking their wounds after this evening. That class might have got away from 1 or 2 that expected to get some prize money and get some ranking points out of it. They'll regroup this evening and they'll come back even stronger tomorrow. There's a lot of really nice horses, and all the riders, you know, the way we've discussed it, they've made a plan for this. So there's a lot of really nice horses in the stables waiting to come out for this 1.50 meter jump off class tomorrow. There's a lot of prize money, there's a lot of ranking points, and a lot of pride at stake.
Absolutely. We very much are looking forward to tomorrow's action as well. We'll be back here in the studio to give you all the insights and analysis. And of course, a real flavour of CHI Alshaqab. That first competition, the first horse will be into the ring at 6:30 local time. We're back here in the studio with you from 6 p.m. for that 3-star competition. The 5-star will be on at 9:30 p.m. local time. So do join us once again then. So it's good night from us in the studio, and we look forward to joining you tomorrow for day 2 of CHI Alshaqab presented by Longines.
Longines. Elegance is an attitude.
Welcome to the world's best airline, where the journey begins before you fly, where lounges are a destination in themselves, and your world is always within reach. A place where you're looked after, and the smallest details bring the biggest smiles. This is Qatar Airways, the world's best for a record 9th time.
كيف ممكن توصف شعور؟ ما في كلام يوصفه. المشاعر ما يلزمها وصف. لما تحس بشعور جديد كل اللي عليك تسمح له يقودك.
The Lebay app, your smart platform for managing your healthcare services at Hamad Medical Corporation. To register, download the Lebay app from the App Store. Log in using your Qatar National Authentication ID. Enable fingerprint or facial recognition for easy login. Then enable notifications to receive appointment alerts and changes. With the app, you can view upcoming medical appointments with ease, reschedule or cancel appointments with just one step, view your medical file, test results, and prescriptions, self-assess your health using artificial intelligence technology, Lebay, your smart platform for better healthcare.
We are here to assist on the field, on the sidelines. From training to go time, we help set up the shot so that you can take it. And your victory is also ours. At Aspetar, our purpose is to assist you whenever and wherever you need it. With state-of-the-art facilities and services, and staffed by some of the world's leading sports medicine experts, we are here to maximize your training and health so that you can maximize your win. Because our mission is to help you achieve your full potential. Meet Aspetar, the future of elite sports, all under one roof. Discover more on aspetar.com.
A book, a desk, a teacher. For some, a classroom is a given. But for many around the world, it remains out of reach. Yet, we've always come forward to change that. Education above all is dedicated to making quality education accessible to all. Because when a child learns, they don't just change their future.
I want to be a pilot. I've dreamt of being a scientist.
My operator doctor. I want to work where I can help people.
They change the world around them.
صدح صوت الحوافر وسمعتها الخيل والفرسان. وصل لأقصى بقاع الأرض، صدى صوته ملا الأقطار طول وعرض. تسابق له من اللهفة بنات الريح، ما تقف لو تسير الريح عكس الريح. من الصحراء تشوف الناس ضحضاح السراب أسراب، تلاحظ في ملامحها الغريبة حالة استغراب، تحدد وجهة الصوت اللي يصداه وصلت الأسماع، وعلى الوجهة ما تدري عن بعضها وتتفق بإجماع. تجي من كل دار وكل صوب، ترابط بين أحاسيس وقلوب، تجمعنا الهواية والمحبة هنا من حيث تجتمع الشعوب.